Knows is a motivational talk show that showcases talented DJs and folks from every walk of life that has a message of life to share through music, wine, and great talk. And welcome to another episode, my Thanksgiving Day edition of LOLO Knows. Yes, I pushed a show a couple of days because I saw that it was fitting for me to do so, especially now with how things are in the world right now that we're living in. I mean, we just had an issue in Missouri, and I still don't understand why everybody seems to be surprised about all of this. I'm still shocked, honestly. My sidekick for the night is my producer, Jordan Zur.
Hello, all. I get to be a sidekick this evening.
His lovely wife, Stacey, is sitting right beside me. I did enjoy a nice fire here a little bit ago. So now I'm chilly again. I'm just going to paint you a picture. And then my son, Jordan, is like running around right now, just trying to gather that. And then I have my lovely niece here, Nevaeh. And I'm just so happy because right now this show is about family. I have been blessed to be able to spend my Thanksgiving with my family, and it's just been amazing. And, you know, Jordan and Stacey, obviously, you know, you're a part of that family. So, Jordan.
You might hear some fire making in the background. So
exactly.
we're trying to get that
this
going.
is just going to be some real things. So if you guys hear like dogs barking in the background, you know, people trying to come to the door. I mean, this is some real, like, okay, Lowe's like seriously doing this like live, and this is like from her home. So I wanted to just get on the whole conversation, first of all, even about, I'm just going to touch on this brief because this is something that I don't really comment on too often because I do not like to get, I feel like once you feed negative, it never gets solved. Never. Especially something that's so unreasonable as this. I mean, thoughts about this, Jordan, like really briefly? Do you have any thoughts about that whole scenario?
Well, I mean, I think we were just talking about before the show, your son Jordan and I were talking about it a bit. I think that it's one of those situations where you have law enforcement, and regardless of how correct they dealt with the situation, we in society have to realize that they're here to protect us, and sometimes maybe they don't do things that we agree upon. But if you challenge them in those situations, unfortunately, they're going to protect themselves. So you have to be smart. It's like we live in Cleveland. We have parts of Cleveland that are kind of tough. East Cleveland can be tough. And if you're in East Cleveland, if an officer says put your hands up and you say no and you come at him, you're probably going to get shot.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is a suburb outside of St. Louis, which is a tough suburb, similar to like in East Cleveland, that has a lot of crime and a lot of problems. So these officers are already on high guard. And it's an unfortunate situation. I think that it's awful. Anytime that this happens, we're supposed to be protected by these people, not killed by them. And maybe this person wasn't going to do anything wrong, but he didn't listen. And we live in a society where we do have to listen. We have to respect people. We have to sometimes maybe do things we don't want to do. But we have to then think about how that's going to affect us one way or the other when we make those decisions.
The only thing that's sad is, you know, when we all make conscious choices every day. And of course, you know, Mike Brown was one of those ones that made a conscious choice. And it unfortunately got him into trouble. It cost him his life.
Yeah.
And these are the things that we must always reflect upon. You know, one thing that I am going to just point out to every single buddy is your words and your actions are an energy that will, in some aspects, in all aspects, impact your life, either positive or negative.
Correct. I agree. 100%.
You know, so you can't control what others are going to do. And you know what? These are imperfect human beings running around, even in uniform. And I agree with what you said, Jordan. And I think there was a lot of people that were really harping on the whole race card and everything else. And you know what? I don't want to hear about that anymore. Bottom line is, this boy made a conscious choice. He got himself in problem. And unfortunately, it ended up this way. A mother now is lost without her child.
Yep.
And this is the reality of the situation. And right now, this show really is about being grateful and about being thankful on a day like this, and how things, how your family does matter. And maybe we need to look deep within our own family circles to make sure that our family members are secured, and that they're being nurtured in some aspects, that they're being understood, that you're able to get to know them in the right aspects, so that we know how to address each other. I think what's happening, especially in society, we're all getting away from really communicating effectively with each other. So everything's just being lost in translation, and I'm just feeling some kind of way about it. And my niece is in the background just making some play, and it's just kind of hard to keep my thoughts on track here. So I'm just going to keep it 100% real with y'all, which is crazy because I'm not in no closed off studio where I could be, but I am being really bold right about now. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
We have a fire
the
going
fire
again.
is now going,
and doing
so
its
now
thing,
the
so it's good.
relaxation, my wine is full. But what I like to actually just address to everybody is your actions, whether in word or deed, results in a consequence, either positive or negative. Period. Okay? We can't control what others do. If people want to, disrupt their city and riot in a way, or have this cause a negative domino effect, then guess what? At some point, these individuals who did all of this looting, who've done all this rioting, or whatever that they've done, it will result in a consequence.
Correct.
It will.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I don't worry about nothing. I don't care. I don't care what the opinions are. I don't care what this person says or what that person says. Let them all have an opinion. I don't care. I'm just going to just ignore it. I'm going to go down my news feed. I'm going to respect that everybody has one, and I'm just going to go about my day. That's what Lolo does. Because at the end of the day, what my message is going to be spread, I'm going to spread a positive message, regardless of love, something that's not fueled with any type of hate. I have no judgment, because that's not my place to have any judgment. My role here is to help people to understand, or maybe just kind of resonate some sort of a different type of thinking. That's why I'm here.
Do you think sometimes in these situations, whether it be Ferguson, whether it be our personal situations, where we let so many of these things consume too much, where yes, this is a negative thing, yes, this is bad, but it can't consume you completely. You still have to go on with everything else. You can still have passion for this or for what you're upset with, but at the same time, you can't let everything consume you and make it be just about that, because it becomes very singular, and then you no longer can focus on the rest of your life. And then nothing ever happens good. So like Ferguson's a great example where people have consumed themselves with something, so they're not seeing past how they can get beyond this and move forward.
Right. But you know what? Exactly. So people are going to react, and they're going to respond, and they're going to go with the crowd and do what they're going to do because they're thinking, okay, this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Even though it's reflecting badly on the whole community. And again, I'm just here to spread a positive message. Now, I just wanted to touch on that just briefly, because honestly, it's something that I see that a lot of people have been upset with. I've seen even friends feel some type of way about other friends that they thought that they knew, and then they had this like really this thinking that they were like, oh my God, I had no idea that they felt like that, or they were like that, and this time they just, you know what? Your life is about being a positive example onto others. spread a message of hope, spread a message of love. When people go reviling, be kind. You know, it's all about trying to be kind. It's all about trying to be, you know, a person of substance that's going to make a, you know, make a change in some aspect in anybody else's, even if it's just one person that you reach in life. You know I'm doing my job, and I just want others to kind of follow suit as well. But the whole basis of I find that families are being torn because of a lack of understanding. You know, there are people that just have issues. I just think a lot of people aren't doing enough talking with each other. I make a conscious choice to want to sit down and talk to my children and reach them at any point, at any given day. You know, that's me, because I've been, no matter how busy my life gets and how chaotic it may be at times, and how many projects I may take on, they are my priority. And that's something that I hold very dear to my heart, and something, because you know what, I never want to take it for granted that, you know, that they're just okay all of the time. I don't never want to ignore the signs, you know, that I could have at least said a word and been there for someone, you know, and been there for them in a host. But everybody also has to take responsibility where responsibility needs to be placed upon. You know, you can't continue to go through life pointing fingers when you find that your life is in trouble and that things are just not going your way, and you think that everybody else has just got to be there for you, and, you know, and turn around your life when really we're all responsible for our own life.
Yeah.
In essence, all we can do is be a comforting ear and at least offer some loving advice and, you know, some sort of a direction. But some people, they're either really going to take the horns and do it, and then other people are just going to make a damn excuse. And we know there's a lot of people who make a lot of excuses for why they are the way they are, what happened in them, you know, umpteenth years ago, what's going on in their life now, why they can't get past certain shit. I don't want to hear that anymore. Your life matters. And how your life matters is by loving yourself a little bit more each and every day, and taking responsibility and giving two shits about where your life direction is going.
That's not easy. It's not easy,
right,
but you have to do it. You have no choice. It's just the way life is.
And I mean, Jordan, you were a young dad.
Yeah.
You know, you were a young dad, you know, like myself, and, you know, you
20 years old.
Yeah, you and I, same age.
Yeah.
We became parents, and, you know, and it's just, and that's the whole thing, you know.
I don't recommend that, though. It's for any younger people out there. Just wait till you're a little older. It's a little easier on your body, your brain, your life, your finances. But I just wanted to interject.
You know, the reality is, you know, this, you know.
But you make the best out of it. You persevere out of it, because what else can you do? I mean, that's what it taught me. It taught me that when that happens, you have to try to take that responsibility, and you have no choice, because nobody else can do it for you. You know, you have somebody that now is relying on you, and you have to do the best you can.
Right.
Maybe it's not always the right things, and you make mistakes, but that's just part of it. You don't worry about that. You just do it, just like with anything.
I just read something really interesting on something by Darren Hardy, and he wrote this awesome article called "To Be Great, Be Grateful." To be great.
To be grateful. Makes sense.
Be grateful.
That's good.
And now I'm going to read this first excerpt from it, and it's so awesome, because he says, "Did you know your brain is not designed to make you happy?" He says, "I know this might be alarming to you, but your brain has only one primary responsibility: to keep you alive. Thus, your brain is constantly on the lookout for danger and attack warnings. Your brain is programmed specifically to seek out the negative. This is a problem if you desire love, prosperity, happiness, those things beyond simply safety. If left unguided, as most do, your brain will stew in the negative all day, every day of your life. The conundrum is what you think about comes about, and where your attention goes, energy flows, thus the direction your life takes."
Smart. That's true.
Hello. We need to exercise that muscle with good, healthy, positive, motivating, inspirational thoughts. It's too damn easy to get caught up in all the negative that we all have in life. We have to exercise that right. Stacey is an avid exerciser. I mean, yoga enthusiast. I mean,
as she twists
a body like Jennifer Aniston, if you ever seen her.
Yes.
I mean, but it takes dedication. It takes work. It takes that willpower to want to do that. Not everybody is as disciplined as her. You know what I mean? I'm using you right now, Stacey, as an example.
Her discipline's impressive.
Right.
It is.
It's very impressive. It's like it's a work that she puts in diligently all of the time, and she does that with everything that she does. But she's been able to master that through routine, through a schedule, through feeding herself what she, the benefits of why she's doing this for herself. Brings her happiness. It brings her joy. It makes her feel healthy. It makes her feel alive. It gives her a great ass, whatever it is. But, she works for it,
It's not free.
It's not free.
Nothing's free.
Again, your mind is a big muscle that needs the same thing. Like, we must exercise that muscle every single day. And I think that even to be perfectly honest, even with people who think about other people who are being negative Nancy's, well, they're perceiving things the way they're seeing them, or maybe the way they've been taught. Our job is to remind them that maybe it's not all of them, and that it's it's maybe we can try to change the perception. The media doesn't do anything to give us a good perception. They sit there and want to divide us and then want to put all of this negative. That's why I don't even watch the news. I could get my news just going on Facebook, Twitter. I do not need to sit there and entertain the 5 o'clock, 11 o'clock news hour. I really don't. And honestly, a lot of it is a bunch of just the same crap that I'm seeing on the social media scene. And and honestly, it's nothing really. I really want to feed my mind. I want to feed my mind good. I want to feed my mind positivity. I want to feed my mind love. Everything else that is coming through those airwaves that seem negative and make you feel uncomfortable is not what I want to feed my mind. And I'm being very choosy in what I'm taking in regards to information every day, and treating my mind like your wife, my friend, treats her body with loving, kind care. Right?
I agree.
Do you feel, and you're on the same path. You eat healthy, you exercise, you do what you love to do in life, and I can, and you guys are in that same synergy, like that same energetic pattern, and I have to applaud you two for that, because you guys seem like that's exactly what I witness all the time when I see you guys, just on that same wavelength. That's why you guys are such good friends.
But it's not. I mean, it's not easy. There's always challenges. I think that certain people see those situations and they see those challenges as these roadblocks that are exactly what that means, a roadblock. Like, there's no way to get around it. It's there. That's it. It's done. But just because there's something in the way doesn't mean you can't overcome it. And I think there's always a challenge. There's always going to be something in your life that is trying to stop you. Like in what you said, how our brain is there, the protection, this fear of survival, this whole instinctual thing that we have. But I think that we have to find ways then to find that happiness.
Right.
So we have to find ways to overcome these things that put us in these situations so that we can be happy and we can persevere and we can feel good about ourselves. So like yoga is a great example. Doing yoga helps get you to that point. It puts your brain to slow it down so you can think different, so you can do things that make your body help you get to those places. So that's one reason for doing that. Right? Physically, it gets you in good shape. It keeps you healthy. So as you get older, your body keeps working. All these things have benefits that bloom out from that. But it's all in about trying to find a positive outlook on it, which isn't always easy. You know, we have challenges in our day to day. I had a challenging day to day. And sometimes you just, I mean, if Stacey hadn't been around me, I don't think my day would have come to the point that it's at right now.
Okay, let's get to this. I like that.
Yeah.
She's a positive influence in that direction. So surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals or people you want to become.
Yeah, absolutely.
Becomes a good thing. And
I think it's necessary.
It's necessary.
You can't live without it.
You cannot live without it.
You can't live without it.
And I'll tell you what, the other thing is just having a grateful list. I mean, being grateful for what you have. You know, being grateful in just the little things. Too many times we get caught up in what has went wrong. The things that just go wrong in our lives. And there goes my nephew, getting a slew of people just walking in. You know, it's like awesome, you know, just to kind of see this little action going by the house. But I'll tell you what, having a grateful list has actually done wonders, especially for me personally, because there are times that I can just get so wrapped up in what, you know, could be going wrong or things that might not be working or whatever, but then I have to feed it my mind with something, follow it up with something really good. And when I do that, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to be going to our first break, and I am going to introduce this DJ, Kevin Bumpers from Groove House. This is one of his deep sessions that you can find on SoundCloud, Kevin Bumpers.
Give me loving in the
And welcome back to LOLO Knows. I have to share this daggone quote that I came across. It is so awesome. I love Zig Ziglar. He is amazing, and you guys are going to really appreciate this.
Zig Ziglar or Diggler?
Nice. Zig Ziglar. He says,
nice.
Be grateful for what you have and stop complaining. It bores everybody else, does you no good, and doesn't solve any problems.
Amen. And I'm not one to say amen. Lo knows that, and I'm saying amen.
Oh, my God. I love that quote. That is an awesome quote because you know what? At some point, you just want people just to stop bitching. And just let's compromise. Let's actually have a conversation. Let's try to get to know each other. Let's just try to understand each other. You know, let's do that. You know, it's just one of those things. Also, I can share something else. A grateful heart is a beginning of greatness. It is an expression of humility. It is a foundation for the development of such virtues as prayer, faith, courage, contentment, happiness, love, and well-being. That was James Faust.
It was good. I liked it.
You know, I think, you know, just having just, you know, and everybody really gets into these quotes. You know, I see a lot of people posting a lot of quotes, but sometimes I wonder how many people are really living by these quotes, I mean, and sometimes I feel like even just people direct quotes to other people or they're trying to send a little message out when really they really need, again, let's talk about the mirror. Okay. And I have said this so many times. Like I've talked to my kids about the mirror. I have talked to myself about, first, before even talking to my kids, I've had to address the mirror myself, you know, and I'll tell you what, it's a hard thing to do. And it's also a revolutionary thing to do. You know, it's been really amazing to be able to die to self. And I'm still feeling this way, that I'm still feeling like I'm working through some things and I'm dying to myself, to be able to emerge into this being that I'm destined to be, outside of all the negatives, and just being and living out my purpose that I'm been put on this earth to do, you know. And I believe that one of my purposes in life was to be able to talk to masses of people and be able to help them, at least in some aspects, even through me, to understand a little bit more about who they are and themselves. And that's what I'm trying to do in my life, you know. And I haven't always had the right answers. I've always had a lot of things going on in my own life, and I've had to really learn the hard way, but at least I wanted to sit there and learn more about who I was. You know, maybe I believe that a lot of people that we attract, I know that people that we attract in our lives are mirror images in some aspects of who we are, or we wouldn't attract them in the first place. They can actually mirror thoughts of who we are, or mirror, you know, aspects of our, you know, and I'm talking about positively, and this could be negatively. We just have to look at the mirror and look at the lessons for what they are. And I believe all of us serve a great lesson. Do you agree? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's, anytime we look at ourselves, sometimes we see things we don't want to see, which is the first problem, where a lot of people look away from it. I mean, at the end of the day, because if you see something that's wrong, you have to fix it. Well, you should want to fix it. That's something in my brain says something's not right. I want to fix it. But inherently, I'm an engineer. Everything about who I am falls into that. From the way my father was, it's part of how my brain works. So when I see something, I want to fix it, and that can be a negative thing also.
Right.
And I'm aware of that. But I think that what you're saying, and there's a lot of truths to that. And I think that we have to find a way. It's hard to find a way to apply that and to use it. It's difficult. It's difficult for anybody to want to fix things or change things about themselves, because that means that you have to say that maybe you're not good, or you're not right, or something's not there, or something's not the way you want it to be. So to make that step is admitting something, and that's difficult.
I think that's what a lot of people are faced with, you know, the raw truths from other people they're not expecting that truth from, you know, that they may battle within themselves, and it's almost like they get on the defense because you're not supposed to know that about them. And they're like, oh my God, how could you know that about me? But they're not willing to admit that. They're not willing to, you know, let down their guard or their ego enough to allow a change to be possible. But they don't understand that this is something that's been brought forth to you to be able to unleash, so you could be actually free. Because anytime when you're dragging your past into your relationships, whether it be in your family or in your personal, you know, intimate relationships, you're doing your own self a disservice. You are the one that is basically jailing yourself.
Family.
Yeah, right? Are they doing video games back there?
I don't know what they're doing, but I think so. The dogs are getting excited, though.
Yeah, right? Oh, no.
Oh, she's drooling.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a happy dog.
Yeah, very happy dog. But I just want to get back to the mirror for a minute, because I believe that a lot of people don't really understand what that is, or why they may be faced with certain issues from people, you know, because at some point you have to, in life, face it. If you don't face it with that person that's been brought to you to do it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be faced with another person. And then you're going to wonder why you keep attracting the same type of people. Why? Because you didn't learn the lesson the last time.
Yeah, it becomes a vicious cycle.
It becomes a vicious cycle. Until you get it, then you're always going to have the problems. You're always going to have the issues.
Correct.
You know, and that is the bottom line. I just don't understand why people don't get that. And a lot of times I think people are just so used to negative things rolling their way. Oh, somebody's a hater, this, that, the other. It's like, you know what? I'm sick of even hearing that. You know, it's so easy to hate. It's so easy to have all of these negative emotions. Remember what I said about the whole brain. You look for things to protect yourself. And I'm just Yeah. Hold on one second because we're just having a little issue with my
I
dog
think we
right
have an
now.
upset puppy dog.
Yeah, she is.
Is she feeling a
She
little
says
rough?
she's feeling a little rough.
Aw, poor girl.
Yeah, she's 12 years old. She's a little older, and she just goes through a little bit of she's having a little epileptic attack
Oh, okay. That's what it is. Okay, good.
right now.
Now
So
I know what it is.
He's gonna try to calm her down right now, and I have something going on. So yeah, he's good. She will be fine in just a few moments.
Sorry,
Again,
folks.
this
I
is
was
some
watching
real
this
stuff.
and I was feeling very bad. So I'm like, hello, help. Is she okay?
I want to say a special shout out to Jake Clemens right now, who's listening to the show. He says he's enjoying the show.
Awesome.
He wants to wish me a happy Thanksgiving and you guys as well, and that he is grateful. So, and Jake actually was
Thanks,
on our
Jake.
show
Yep.
for, he was the DJ on our show.
Yeah.
He's amazing. And shout out to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope it was
Thanksgiving.
wonderful. I love being able to get, correspondence from people and to kind of see if, their thoughts on the show and be able to get some feedback. So keep that feedback actually coming in. I really do appreciate it. I work hard to bring heartfelt, good content to you. I really base a lot of my content on just the energies of what I'm feeling most people are going through, especially, especially within those 2 weeks. It's just crazy. Stacey, are you actually going to say something? I think you should just say hi at least. Let your voice be known that I've actually just shouted you out and had all these awesome, amazing things to say about you. And the fact that her body really is like Jennifer Aniston's, but I mean, I'm just saying.
No, it's not.
She's so
And she has a great radio voice, folks. You got to hear it.
It's not that great.
I appreciate it. You know what? I want to know.
Pretty good.
I want
It's
to know.
not that great.
You know what? I'm really grateful right now. I'm going to just say this. I'm going to say a couple things I'm really grateful for. Like right now, I am grateful for you two for being here and being such a huge support to me. And I feel so honored and so blessed to not only call you guys, not only my friends, but also my family. And it's just been such a wonderful journey, getting to this point, and the fact that you guys are a part of this journey of mine.
Yeah.
And I met you in a salon.
I know.
Right?
I remember the day I walked in.
I remember she came back. She's like, I love this. Hello. She's awesome. She's great.
Yeah,
She's so
I was her
beautiful.
esthetician for, how long has it been now?
2009.
Wow.
2009,
Yeah.
man. I've been
5 years.
beautifying that face and that,
Working.
she's glowing. She has not aged one bit since
so
I met
true.
her.
She's reversed.
No, that's not no, it is the truth, and I have
It's the
pictures to
truth.
prove.
It's the truth.
I have them.
She will not be posting them to Facebook.
But you know what? I am grateful for this moment. I'm really grateful that my family gets to stand by and actually see me do this right now. Like, this is really important for me. My son just got in from college in Pittsburgh, and he gets to kind of see what I do. He hasn't been able to see this part of my life. He's heard about it, but he hasn't really been able to see it. So I'm really grateful about that. I'm grateful to have a roof over my head. I'm grateful for the food that was placed before me today. And I'm grateful for so many of my friends that have been out there doing like good. Shout out to April Thompson. I wanted to send a special shout out to you in regards to your Thanksgiving, day help with those that are less unfortunate, and you being able to pull that together is such a huge, not even a huge undertaking, but, obviously it became a success. So I'm very proud of you right now. And I think that that's one thing about being grateful, and is also about being giving in some aspects to yourself. I mean, not only to yourself, but just to the universe and how much you get back from that. So right now we're getting ready to go to our second break. We're going to be playing more of Kevin Bumper's Deep House session. So I really want you guys to listen to him on deep.com, which is, he does a live house mix every Thursday at 7 p.m. Shout out to my boy and Groove House.
Try to make things alright, but they turn out wrong. I need a place to run and hide, relax a while and clear my mind, and dream of brighter days. Brighter days. I'm looking for
Oh my goodness, Kevin Bumpers. Yes, you can follow Kevin Bumpers on soundcloud.com. You also can listen to his live mix every Thursday at 7 p.m. on deep.com. Very proud to say this man is my friend, and he is an amazing DJ. He's been out in the scene for quite a few years, but he is still doing it very proper deep house. I applaud you. That, the reason why I picked Kevin, especially for this, his music selection is so upbuilding and so awesome. You know what I mean? It lifts your spirits. Even that last song, There'd Be Brighter Days. We have to always think that there are going to be some brighter days at the end of it. I also got a quote that I want to share from Bruce Young. Shout out to Bruce Young, who follows me on Facebook. I believe he might follow me on Twitter, but he does follow the show, so thank you so much for listening in. His quote is from The Secret, The Laws of Attraction, and it's live every day with an attitude of gratitude. The more you're grateful for, the more things come into your life. Which also, I'm going to share this quote because this is something that I wanted to share, which actually coincides with that one. When you are grateful, when you can see what you have, you unlock blessings to flow in your life. That's Susie Orman. So, if everybody knows this or believes this, if it's worked for these individuals, and they're very successful, don't you think we should be following suit? Go ahead, Stacey.
I think that people get very caught up
Yes.
in their own lives, and it's very difficult for them to be grateful because they're too busy trying to manage themselves. So rather than look around and be grateful for the little things, like today the biggest decision that I had to make was picking out a plaid shirt. That's something that I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Right? I'm grateful for the fact that I went downstairs and there's food in the fridge and my cats are happy and there's a fire and we've got a great TV and we have great things, and those are little things that you just sort of forget about because it's so easy to get caught up in any kind of drama that easily comes in and takes over your life. And I just think that, in an age where we're constantly exposed to other people's lives, the lives that they want us to see, so the persona that comes out on any kind of social media, what they want us to view, we're constantly holding ourselves up to that level. So it's hard to be grateful when you're constantly running to keep up with what you think you should be doing, instead of just stopping and taking a deep breath and saying, you know what, I'm just really going to enjoy the present, the now, here. It's hard to do. I mean, like Jordan was saying earlier, I think one of the reasons that yoga is so calming and centering is that it really forces you to be aware of what you're doing for 60 minutes, for 75 minutes, for 90 minutes, however long the practice is. You can't really think about anything else. All you can do is think about the here and now and the present. And I think if more people did that, then maybe they would be able to take a breath and be grateful for what they have.
Exactly. You know what? And that's the whole thing. Be silent, be still. I think that's where we don't do enough of.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Not in this
Especially
day and age.
not in this day and age.
Oh,
You are for sure right about that, because sometimes
we're pretty overstimulated.
We are very
Yeah.
overly. But sometimes
Yeah.
we have to force ourselves, again, habit. We gotta start adopting new habits. I know this is something that I am working on even myself. You know, sometimes we could get so caught up in the day-to-day and all these things, you know. I just want to, I'm going to say bye to my boys because right now they're actually heading out to go see the Hunger Games tonight.
Great movie.
I know you guys are so excited. I can't wait to hear about it when you guys get back.
But not
But
now.
but not now. I just got a message from Miss Ashley Zer saying, good show, wish I could be there. So shout out to you, Ashley. And I also want to... I actually want to go to this next quote that I actually have for you guys that I think you will actually enjoy. I'm grateful to intelligent people. That doesn't mean educated. That doesn't mean intellectual. I mean really intelligent. Oh my God. I think I might have picked the wrong one, actually. I can't say that.
I'm sitting there like,
Wait a minute.
where's she going?
Wait a
That
minute.
doesn't seem complete.
Oh my God. Like, should I even read this? But actually, this is from Maya Angelou.
Okay.
But I want to say this because I've said this quote a million times. Let us be grateful to the mirror for revealing to us our appearance only.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
Because you know what, that ties into what I was saying earlier about this mirror. I mean, your thoughts, Stacey, on the mirror?
I think that it is virtually impossible for you to see yourself when you look in a mirror. I don't think it's very easy.
No.
To see yourself. I think it's a good practice, and I think that it's good in theory, but I found over the years that it usually comes from somebody else who's a little further away from whatever situation I'm dealing with, who can kind of stop me and say, this is really what's going on, this is how you're acting, this is what's happening, this is what you need to do. You need to take these steps to fix this, to resolve this. Sometimes it's hard to look in the mirror and be able to resolve something for yourself. You kind of have to rely on others' feedback. For me, personally, I found. You know, I've said this to Jay, I've said it to other people, you know, I would give anything to see myself through your eyes for just 1 minute. Like, what do you see when you look at me?
She would be floored.
Because I know what I see, and
What we see, she would be floored.
I am like, and I know I'm not the only one. I mean, we're so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
I should have done this. I should have worn that. I shouldn't
You
have
know,
done
they
this.
also say a lot of this comes from your past. You know what
Sure.
I mean? It comes from, you know, the way your world perceived you, like when you were younger, you know, like your parents or, you know, people that you grew up with. They've kind of molded your mind to believe these things that you may now believe about yourself.
Well, it's funny. I'm actually going to use a quote, and I am fairly positive one listener will think that this is hilarious since I'm quoting from a movie, which was a book that I really can't stand, but it's a great quote. You accept the love you think you deserve. And I think that goes back to when we're all kids and something is embedded inside of us of you deserve this or you deserve that. Mm-hmm. And we accept what we think we deserve and we'll settle. And I think that helps to mold that image that we see in the mirror. And once you kind of learn, hey, I deserve more than this. I need more than this. I want more than this. That's kind of when maybe the mirror would take a different approach.
You know what? I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
I absolutely do.
You do.
Know what you mean.
You accept what you think you deserve. And I think that is across everything that you come in contact with. And I think a lot of us, we talk a lot about gratitude and being grateful for things. And I think it's very important to be grateful for things. But I also think that there is an unsung hero in reciprocity. I think that giving and getting at the same level it's like a founding block of a relationship. Any relationship that you have, you can give and be grateful, but if you're not getting something back, that's where I think a lot of things falter, and there's not a lot of that anymore. It's not like there's a lot of entitlement out there in the world, and I think that plays a direct relationship with maybe a lack of gratitude, because people are like, well, I'm not, I'm not getting what I think I deserve. Mm-hmm. Well, so they're not grateful, and they're not giving back, and so it's all related, and I'm not really sure how to solve that. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do it on the show. But if you have me back next week, maybe I'll have an answer.
You know what?
I'm going to have to look that up. I'm going to have to Google that.
But you're right, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. All of this comes because we've grown and we wanted to understand more. We didn't just get this lesson overnight. People who grow to that level want to understand. They're going through the stuff themselves to understand more about who they are. Yeah. Where their life is going. If they really want to truly be better and not want to continue to point fingers instead of pointing that finger back at themselves and say, I can't continue. If you're continuing to attract the same issues, start pointing that finger back at you and
like
quit
you were
blaming
saying earlier,
yourself.
It's the same thing. It's that.
Quit blaming everybody else but you.
It's the cycle. It's the thing. If things keep, like you said before, and you said it a few times, it's resonated throughout the show today, that if the same things keep happening to you over and over again, there has to be a reason why.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the definition of insanity.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Same thing over and over again,
Exactly.
expecting different results.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
especially now that, it's like a lot of people I know can relate this back to just relationships in general, intimate relationships.
I think every human being can.
Every human being can. Any relationship can go through any of this. Friendships.
And the one that you have with yourself.
And the one you have with yourself is the most important relationship you can ever have with, in life.
Yeah. It's
Period.
the one that we take the most for granted. It's the one that we don't have reciprocity with. It's the one that we take advantage of. We don't nurture it.
But just think about how many more people in the world that we can be a positive influence on if we all just been more conscious of that, or we're all more conscious of being better than we were yesterday. Yeah. Wanting to be more kind, wanting to be more understanding, wanting to say, what is it that I need to learn from this? Where do I need to go to grow? I think these are the questions instead of pointing that finger at somebody else, just asking yourself these very questions.
Well, and as you said earlier, really surrounding yourself with people who lift you up and make you better and, just make you play a better game.
Exactly.
And it's hard, and we all succumb to negativity. We do. It's just, it's who we are. And it's a lot harder to take the high road and be positive. I mean, we are easily frustrated. We have very little to no patience. Mm-hmm. We want instant gratification. That's not even fast enough for us. Right? And it's because everything is at our fingertips.
Exactly.
Everything is just so much easier. I mean, you remember growing up, you had to listen to the radio. We used to drive around and wait for Straight Up to come on. Yeah, right? We used to drive around.
Friday night videos, wait for that video. You
Obviously, I'm dating myself. I was 2.
I was 3, so it's okay.
But I mean, you have to, and I think that there's something that's been lost with the fact that at any moment in time, you can dial up exactly what you want to hear or see or what. I mean, we're sitting at home and I'm like, I really want to watch this movie. And we find it. It's there.
And
it's
if we
out
can't,
there in
we're
the
angry.
world.
We're like, why isn't this here? Why can't I get it?
Why can't I get this? I'm angry. Oh my gosh, this isn't working. What? And so I think that all plays into this whole theme of being really grateful for things.
So to tie this whole show, we all need to be more conscious and be more grateful for what we do have as opposed to what we don't have in order to start unlocking blessings and, those things that we really truly want in life. They're there for the taking, but they will only be there until you start loving yourself more. And then in turn, loving others the way they deserve to be loved as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So this is the wrap up. I'm getting the wrap up sign.
Wrap it up.
This hour is over, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thanksgiving.
And
Happy
I really
Thanksgiving.
appreciate you guys listening in. That really did tune in. Until next week, everybody. Bye for now.
Everybody wants to be somebody. Everybody wants to be somebody. Everybody